Hi, and welcome to my channel. I'm Miss Baptista. I'm here reading. It's been a while, but I found one of my old books from when I was young. I love the Care Bears. My students know that I love the Care Bears. This is a little bit torn, but I still found it. This is Care Bears, The Trouble with Timothy. And it's by Margaret Ludlow and pictures by Cooke. Monday was not a good day. On Monday, Timothy made a paper airplane out of his arithmetic test. He sailed it across the classroom. It landed in the fish tank. Mrs. Pratt was angry. Who did that? Mrs. Pratt pulled the paper airplane out of the fish tank and unfolded it. The paper was wet, but she could still read Timothy's name on it. Timothy, I want you to write, "I will not throw things in class" 10 times. And bring it in tomorrow with your homework. Uh-oh, looks like he's in a little bit of trouble for doing that. Timothy spent Monday after school digging for the worms in the backyard. That night, there was a really good movie on television. So Timothy forgot to write, "I will not throw things in class" 10 times. He didn't bring any papers to school on Tuesday. What Timothy did bring on Tuesday was a little white box. He put it on Jennifer's desk. When Jennifer saw the little white box, she was very excited. "Look, somebody gave me a present. I wonder what it is. Maybe it's a ring." Jennifer opened the box. "Eek! It's a worm! Oh, yuck! Get it away from me!" Jennifer leaped out of her seat so fast she knocked the box off her desk. The worm fell out and slowly crawled across the floor. That wasn't very nice of Timothy. All the children started yelling, "Worm, worm, watch out for the worm!" Mrs. Pratt had to bang on her desk with a ruler to quiet them down. "Whose worm is that?" she asked. "It's Timothy's worm!" everybody yelled. Mrs. Pratt sent Timothy to the principal's office. Wednesday was a terrible day. When Mrs. Pratt turned to write on the blackboard, that's a chalkboard, Timothy tried to be funny. He stuck out his tongue, crossed his eyes, and made a horrible face. Before he could stick his tongue back in and uncross his eyes, Mrs. Pratt turned around. She did not think he was funny. When Mrs. Pratt asked, "If I have 2 apples and you have 2 apples and we put them together, what do we have?" Timothy shouted, "Applesauce." I don't think that's what she was asking. When Mrs. Pratt called on him to read, Timothy couldn't find the place in his reader because he was busy drawing swamp monsters in his notebook. Mrs. Pratt wrote a note to Timothy's parents. When Timothy's parents read the note, they sent Timothy to his room. "Nobody likes me," Timothy said to himself. "Everybody hates me. Miss Pratt hates me. Jennifer hates me. Even my father and mother are angry with me right now. I don't have a friend in the world." Timothy sighed and sat down on his bed. Suddenly, he noticed a bear with daisies on its tummy was sitting on his pillow. Timothy was surprised. He picked the bear up. "What are you doing here? I don't own a bear like you. Are you a present?" The bear giggled. Oh, please stop patting my tummy. It tickles." Timothy was so amazed to hear a bear speak that he almost dropped it. "Careful, careful," smiled the bear. "You are talking. I never heard a bear talk before." You never needed a friend so badly before. You said that you didn't have a friend in the world. That's true, Timothy said sadly. No, it's not. I'm your friend. Your snuggly, furry friend. In fact, that's my name, Friend Bear, and I come from the land of Care-a-Lot. I'll be around as long as you need me, but when you don't need me so much, I'll be on my way. Now I think I can help you. How? Said Timothy. The way I see it, you don't like school very much. Why should I? Said Timothy. School's no fun. But it can be, said Friend Bear. I'll show you. Let's play a numbers game with your models. Can you do numbers? Can I do numbers? Can a rabbit roar? Can a pig fly? No, Timothy said. I guess pigs can't fly. Maybe not, said Friend Bear, but I can do numbers. Now look, you have one swamp monster, one dinosaur, and one snake man. If I take the dinosaur, Friend Bear took the creature and climbed up on the bed. How many monsters do you have left? 2, Timothy said. Very good. As easy as falling off a log. Friend Bear tumbled off the bed and rolled over to Timothy. When Miss Pratt asks you to do arithmetic, why don't you use your imagination? You don't always have to add apples. That's a good idea for arithmetic, said Timothy. But what about reading? I don't like reading. We never get to read about really good things like rockets and monsters. We'll play another game, said Friend Bear. Do you have a pencil and a paper? Of course. Timothy got them out of his desk. This is a reading game, Friend Bear explained. Can you read? Asked Timothy. Can I read? Can a snake tap dance? Can a cow roller skate? I doubt it, said Timothy. Me too, but I can read. My dog is in the background moaning and groaning. She's not happy with the story. Friend Bear picked up the pencil and printed some things on paper. Can you read what it says? Timothy looked at the letters. No, not really. Friend Bear pointed out the words. It says swamp monsters from outer space meet the Snake Man. If that were a story in a real book, would you want to read it? Timothy's eyes lit up. I sure would. But you couldn't, Friend Bear said sadly. Right now, it wouldn't make any difference to you if the words were upside down like this. Then Friend Bear stood on his head. And you'll never get to know them if you draw swamp monsters when you're supposed to be learning how to read. Timothy frowned. I never thought about it that way. Thanks, Friend Bear. He picked Friend Bear up by the leg and straightened him up. Oh, Friend Bear giggled. Heavens to fuzzies, that's another ticklish spot. Sorry, but Timothy couldn't resist giving Friend Bear another tickle. Friend Bear giggled, so did Timothy, and then they both laughed louder. Timothy found that he was feeling better. Later, when they were playing a game, Friend Bear smiled and said, Timothy, may I ask you a question? Sure, Friend Bear, go ahead. Why do you act silly in school? You know, making faces and teasing? Timothy was silent for a moment. Then he said, I'm not sure, Friend Bear. Sometimes I wonder if anyone notices me. If they laugh at me, maybe they'll want me for a friend. Maybe, said Friend Bear. But you know, Timothy, it's not that hard to have friends. Think about it. If you want somebody to be warm and fuzzy, nice to you, you have to be nice to them, Timothy said. Exactly. See, if you want to make a friend, you have to be a friend. And I guess I shouldn't give them worms, Timothy added. Not unless they happen to be worm collectors, Friend Bear smiled. Before Timothy went to sleep that night, he thought for a long time about what Friend Bear had said. The next day, Mrs. Pratt said, I have 2 chickens and you have 2 chickens. What do we have altogether? Timothy almost said lots of eggs, but he didn't. He just pictured 4 fire engines instead of chickens and raised his hand. Miss Pratt was very pleased. He didn't draw pictures of swamp monsters during reading time, and when Mrs. Pratt called on him, he read every word right. Mrs. Pratt gave him a dinosaur sticker for his notebook. On Friday, Timothy started to stick out his tongue and cross his eyes at Jennifer. Suddenly, he remembered Friend Bear. Instead of making a horrible face, he smiled. Jennifer looked surprised for a minute. Then she smiled back. Friday was a very good day. Timothy couldn't wait to tell Friend Bear all about it. He ran to his room, but Friend Bear wasn't sitting on Timothy's bed where he usually sat. Timothy looked under his closet. Looked in his closet. He looked under his bed. He couldn't find Friend Bear. Then Timothy looked on his table. There, looking as bright and sunny as a new day, were 2 daisies, just like the one on Friend Bear's tummy. Timothy remembered what Friend Bear had said. But when you don't need me so much, I'll be on my way. Timothy picked up the flowers. Thank you, Friend Bear. I did it. I think I made a new friend. He wasn't sure, but Timothy thought he heard the daisies giggle. The end. And there's all the little Care Bears in Care-a-Lot. So the story was about a few different things. He was struggling in class. He wasn't really remembering how to do math and read. And when Friend Bear told him, hey, instead of using the math problems that your teacher's giving you, think about something you're interested in, like the fire trucks or monsters and dinosaurs, stuff like that. I use that with my own children at home too. I put things into something that they can relate to, something they're interested in to help them learn. Whether it's gymnastics or money, because my kids like money, saving money and whatnot. And also it's teaching you kind of a lesson like, hey, you know what? If you want friends, you do have to be nice to people. Treat others how you want to be treated. And of course, there's always ways to get attention. Making people laugh is one of them, but there's always a time and a place. And if it's not hurting people's feelings, that's great. But if you're laughing at somebody else's expense, maybe you should think about it and ask yourself, would I want that happening to me? Because all of you out there who are listening, you're lovable, you're likable, you're very special, all of you. So anyhow, again, my little Care Bear book. I have a few more, so hopefully in the next month or so I'll be posting some more. All right? Everybody have sweet dreams. See you next time.